Alright, so let's take a crack at a tier list. Like, I think this game is hard enough to tier. So, it's obvious to me Belial... There's no debate about Belial, right? Like, I think everyone agrees he's the top character in the game. I mean, you guys know his tools are ridiculous, his damage is ridiculous. This is all you need to know. 8 Belials in top 24, forward heavy being 9 frames, his combos shitting out damage mid-screen, Stomp being like one of the best JUs in the game, Fireball probably being the best in the game. This character got too much. And the 9 frame DP? Nah, bro. This character got too much. So below that, I think Lance being number 2 in the game is pretty safe assumption, right? You have Score, who's considered one of the best in Japan. The character, like, sort of got buffed from the last patch, and he was already considered to be good in a patch where, like, everyone got nerfed, right? So the character is really strong. So the fact that Lance still has all of his key tools in play, they nerfed EX Turbulence, but the nerf was just, they made the follow-up slower, which actually, like, in some situations makes it harder to punish. Like, that's not much of a nerf. They did nerf the damage from it, but it still shits out damage. And they actually buffed a couple things, like his 6XL, I believe, or one of his 6X moves, so that's a little more viable in neutral. Oh yeah, they buffed 2M too. That's ridiculous. So before, that didn't used to work. Now it does. So a lot of Lances are going to this string, which is really good. I think Ferry is really strong. Ferry is arguably one of the best, if not the best character in the game last patch. She did get a lot of nerfs, including a lot worse frame data on her normals, and her pull and mix up isn't as good. But she did get a, quite frankly, I think it's pretty busted dive kick. I think her dive kick is super good. They gave her a zoning character a plus unblock dive kick. So she's basically Yun now. She has the install, she has the plus unblock dive kick. They just need to give her EX lunge, and they'll probably do that next patch. They nerfed her ground and neutral a little bit. They gave her better dive kick. She's really strong still. I mean, Mochi put in work at Rage, and he'll probably put in work at this tournament too. So I think Ferry's strong, but because that dive kick is so unique, she's gonna take a little bit more time to unlock, because it completely changed her playstyle essentially. But once the Ferry players get used to it, I think she'll still be up here. Yeah, Stevo's Ferry actually got buffed. It's actually crazy. You guys have probably seen this guy named, he has like a bunch of stupid names in the lobby. If you ever play him, you'll understand why I think this character is top 3. That dude does not block at all, and he's still really good. So just imagine if he learned the block, no one would be winning games. It's actually crazy. All right, so after that, and you know, this is actually pretty similar to, I agree with his top 3. I almost agree with his top 5. And I would actually put like maybe like this. Left or right doesn't mean anything. So I'm gonna say Zeta. And this is the hot take. I sort of think Bub should be up there. I sort of think Vaseraga should be up there. So I'll put it like this. This is my gut feeling. And let me talk about all that, right? So Charlotta is pretty much the same. She was considered to be top 5 last patch. She's pretty much the same character. She got a couple nerfs where she can't like do EX demon flip mid-screen. It's a lot worse because it doesn't autocorrect anymore. Her light ball's a lot better. It's not minus on hit anymore. So it's a really good tool, and it kind of puts you at like a better spacing. But just the fact that a lot of other characters got nerfed, and she pretty much did the same or maybe got slightly better, is a big buff to her, right? So I definitely think she belongs up here. Zeta, I think, is ridiculous now. And actually, I'm gonna switch this. Not that it matters much, but I think I would put Zeta as 4th. I think this character is actually freaking stupid. So people were worried that Zeta's pogo doesn't hit overhead anymore. Well, actually, it does. The first hit hits overhead, but the second and third hit don't hit overhead, right? And you would think that this is a bad thing, it destroys her mix-up, but it's actually pretty similar. Other than doing like an instant pogo after the first pogo, like she still gets her high-low, she still gets her ways to beat Fuzzy Mash, her pogo mix-up's still intact. And in exchange, she got nerfs to all the other characters, and her ground game got better. and her conversions got more consistent. And she got buffs to her dive spear. She got really good. She's actually super strong now. She basically got buffed in a patch where everyone got nerfed. That's a huge bonus. And I think this character is already strong to begin with. I think EX counter is the most underrated reversal move in the game. That shit is like, you could basically either match 5A on wake up or match EX counter on wake up. And it's basically a 50-50. I mean, there are ways, some ways to beat it, but EX counter is really strong. And the fact that it's pretty hard to punish if you do the knee version, because she can kind of adjust her follow-ups afterwards. Or you can just use it in neutral or in block string where the spacing is right. I think it's actually one of the strongest reversal moves in the game now, especially now that they nerfed DPs. And she got really good zoning. Like, this character's always been good, but now she's just like, she's elevated to another level. So I'm actually, I kind of hyped her up. I'm actually going to put her tied with Ferry. That way it looks a little more even. Bubs and Vaseraga. So Bubs might be the most buff character in the game. Like, straight up. Walk speed increased. His conversions are way more consistent. So you can do something like a crouch light, stand light. That wouldn't work before, now it does. And that can go into super or whatever. His teleport is way faster. His teleport is like super good now, where even if you're offline, I feel like it's actually kind of tough to react. Like, you have to be actually looking for it. And the fact that he basically has like several different ways to get out of the corner, it's super good. His DP is way harder to punish. Like, before, if you blocked his DP, you could get a run up. Now you can no longer do that. You actually just have to punish with a far normal sometimes. Yeah, his karma got buffed. These are all buffs essentially. It's actually ridiculous. But this character, oh yeah, his anti-airs are more consistent too. He got way too many buffs. It's gonna take a little bit of time for the Bubs players to adapt, but there's this really good Bubs in America that not a lot of people know about, but his name's Wind. And if you ever get the chance to play him, you'll kind of see, like, he's still learning some things about the character, but like, once Bubs is optimized, I think this character is gonna be very strong. And not to mention, Bubs actually has a fuzzy guard break, and he has different ways to mix you up. So he can fuzzy you on your wake up. He can also do reversal command grab. That's invincibility. Like, this character is actually ridiculous. And then Vaseraga, I mean, I don't know. Just play Fame. I really don't even know how to describe it. Vaseraga is so different, but like, armor in neutral is just really freaking dumb. And they buffed his armor. And they nerfed all the characters that have DPs. So you can't really DP out of his pressure anymore. I mean, like, if Fame didn't play this character, I don't think people would understand how cheap this character is. Like, the crazy thing is, like, I don't think Japan's Vaseragas are on this level. Like, they just kind of go ham, where Vaseraga can actually play a pretty patient neutral. Just sit back, wait for a chance to get armor, then use that armor as like a free way to get in. And when you have a grappler that has a free way to get in, that's actually busted. There's some characters that can control his neutral and force him to approach because they have good ways to break armor. But if you ignore those matchups, yeah, he's really strong. All right, so after that, this is where I have no clue, right? I think this is pretty like cemented in my mind. After this, oh my god, I have absolutely no clue what to do. So I'm just gonna like trust my gut on this. So, I know Soriz is all the way down here, and like, I do sort of think that's actually an interesting way of putting it, just having everyone even. This actually could be how it looks. Like, straight up. It's too long for one line, bro. I feel like this is such a bitch out if I do this. Can I actually do this? Is this cheating? So, all right, let's talk about these. I really don't think it's like this. There is like a low mid and a high mid tier. So I think Gran's still good. The issue with Gran and why I don't think he's Djeeta or Cat level now is I feel like there's absolutely no reason to play Gran right now. There is no reason to play this character over Belial. Like, straight up. I do not know why you would play Gran. They nerfed him a lot. I mean, sure, he has a +1 2M. Actually, Belial has a +1 2M. I feel like there's absolutely no reason to play Gran. He just has like, he's still good. He still can go 5-5 with a lot of the cast. He's still the protagonist. But like, bro, he's like great value. Just like Soriz is great value Charlotta. Gran feels like great value Belial, essentially. I think the Japanese players agree too. 0 grants. Actually, in America, we have 0 Grans. Maybe Yuel. But I have no clue who plays Gran right now. Except Blue. But, I mean, we got Grans, but this character exists. That's the issue. So I don't think, like, he's not viable. I think he's still viable. You can still win with him. But, come on, bro. Just play Belial. I don't know. Honestly, the only two I'd move down here are Gran and Ladiva. Ladiva just took too many nerfs this patch. So I think Ladiva belongs down here just because, like, I don't know how she wins. I don't know how Ladiva wins some of these matchups. I don't know how Ladiva beats Lance, Belial, Ferry. Especially now that, like, Super's a lot higher, they go through Fireball. And your Oki's not as good, and Lariat doesn't give you, like, a full combo, so your risk reward's way whacker. Nah, bro. But, like, all these other characters, I mean, like, Taichi's putting in work, Eo's top 24 winners with Metera. I feel like the character fights Belial pretty well. Percival's still really good. His ground game's still ridiculous. Even though Percival took a ton of nerfs, he's still not a bad character. Zoe's still strong. I play her. I mean, she got tons of mix. She got really strong neutral. The most underrated thing about Zooey is her neutral. Her neutral is actually really strong. Her pokes go really far. She has really good things to cancel her pokes into. She has 2 things you have to look out for, EXDP and Lightning, which open up her ground game more. Not to mention her offense is really good. So she kind of makes up for lack of DP in my opinion. Narmaya I think is really solid. People are still learning more about this character. She's really good. Yeah, Narmaya's corner pressure is really strong. The fact that she got 2 set of specials and she has a 9 frame DP and she has really good normals. Those are all, like, really good things about Narmaya. See, like, people used to compare Narmaya and Gran a lot, but Narmaya, like, here's the way I see it. Narmaya is a way different character than Belial, right? There's reasons to play Narmaya. Same thing with Cag. I mean, I don't think Cag is, like, fully fleshed out, but I think when she is, she'll probably be around here. Yeah, Cag's definitely gonna take a while. But I think just a lot of people are saying Cag's not that good because her pokes are somewhat stubby and she doesn't have a DP, which are both kind of true. But Cag's pokes are better than you think. I actually think Cag's 5H is ridiculous. The fact that you can hit confirm a 5H like super easily is really strong in this game. And you can, like, you have really good specials to cancel it too on block. So even though it doesn't have the most range, that move carries neutral quite a bit. Her 5L and 2L are, like, she has some of the strongest 5L and 2L pressure in the game. And, like, a lot of characters, like, 5Ls whiff if you're, like, at the wrong distance, but it's so consistent with Cag. I really like that. Traps are good. Her neutral's strong. She has strong offense. She does decent damage. Her air teleports are really good. Like, she has utility that no other character has. I can't see how that's bad. So Lowain, if you look at Arc Revo stats, so that boost guard never played Belial here. So Lowain got 2nd. The highest placing Belial was 5th. Belial outplaced here as well. Wait, so this is a different... No, this is a different Lowain. It's not the Lowain that made top 24 at Rage. This is a different Lowain that got top 4 at Japanese Arc Revo. Outplaced all the Belials. Okay. Didn't happen here for Southeast, but you only had one Belial top 8, right? And then T-Bola got first with Bubs and Lowain. Beat out the Belials. So the point I'm trying to make here is Lowain has better results outside of Rage, which I'll admit, like, Rage, you got top 8 of 24 is Belial. But outside of Rage, Lowain has better tournament results than Belial. So this tier list should look like this. This is the true tier list. But no, I think he's down here. He got a lot of buffs. He got buffs to his normals. The fact that, like, his Oki is more loopable and the fact that his bros cool down faster is really strong for his neutral. His hit confirms are so much more consistent. He gets better. It seems like he gets better Oki. I think this character's up here. Djeeta and Cat, they did take some nerfs, but Djeeta actually got a buff in her medium Rekka. It's a little better in neutral. Djeeta's kind of also one of the ones I want to say, like, but I believe in Gamera. I believe in Djeeta. I know Base also thinks this character is really good this patch. Yeah, I can definitely see Djeeta being here. But yeah, Emreka is basically M-boot. And Djeeta's just always been really solid. I think Djeeta's EX Fireball, last patch, it might have been the best EX move in the game. This patch, it doesn't knock down, right? So it's not as strong. But the fact that it's basically a free get-in tool against a lot of characters is just a really strong option that a lot of characters don't have. And Cat kind of took the same nerfs as the other Shotos, so that all the Shotos, and by Shotos I mean Gran, Djeeta, Cat, they all have a slower DP, which means that you can block their DP on wake up and still hit them with a meaty. So you can do like a meaty 5L or 2L. And if you do it correctly, if they DP, you block the DP. But if they are mashing, you'll beat their mash. So that sucks for them. Their Fireballs got more recovery. The EX Fireballs also don't knock down. And then each of the characters got like nerfs to their normals or nerfs to some of their specials. Like for example, Gran medium boot doesn't knock down anymore. That's kind of wild. Cat got a lot of nerfs too. The thing with Cat though is like she still kind of fills this like niche where her buttons are really far. So you can still play a very strong grounded game against characters. Droid's still really good. Like her gameplay essentially didn't change, it's just a bit weaker now. Whereas Gran's gameplay, one, it's outdated by Belial, but two, now his medium boot just feels like meh. And that was like a lot of what his gameplay was based around. Not much reason to play Djeeta over Belial. I feel like at least Djeeta has Charge EX Fireball. I think that move is still really strong. I think she also kind of suffers the same thing as Gran does. I'd agree with that, Bill. But yeah, Cat just has really long-reaching moves. Hit confirm. Droids are really strong. She can wall a lot of people out with her normals. She's still got really good damage in the corner. I don't feel like the nerfs affected her as bad as they did Djeeta and Gran, because Cat wasn't really playing neutral with her Fireball as much as Gran and Djeeta were, because she could rely more on her normals, if that makes sense. So the thing about Soriz is he has a lot of trouble in some matchups. Matchups where he can't dash punch very well give him a lot of trouble. Not to mention his matchup against this guy that's at top tier is actually, I think it's pretty bad. Just the fact that it's really hard for him to navigate the Fireball, and the fact that a brawler type character that doesn't like do that well in neutral doesn't have a DP, that's really whack in my opinion. And his armor did get buffed. He got a lot of buffs, and actually like if this was last patch he'd probably be down here, but he's actually probably like it's not a full tier difference. It's probably like this, because I think he's a lot better than last patch. He doesn't excel in anything. Like compare him to Charlotta. I can't name one thing that Charlotta does better. I mean that Soriz does better than Charlotta, except maybe like having light dash punch and maybe like having additional specials to continue pressure. But even then, like Charlotta's probably has better pressure, has a better jump, has an actual defensive DP. It just feels like budget Charlotta in my opinion. But yeah, so I guess that's my tier list. I don't know. I want to hear the hot takes from the chat. What do you guys think? This is not how I kind of just did this like off the cuff. I didn't really put much thought into it, but I kind of like how this turned out. I feel pretty comfortable with this. Yeah, let's laugh together at Gran's flying boot. The fact that like if you miss base that even from that distance, that was a punish? Are you kidding me? Like, come on. I can't believe they did him like that. I mean, you still have EX boot, but like,